Hey guys, it's Andrew and
Hi.
Derek. Today we're gonna actually talk about apocalyptic survival. Um, we got like different measures and stuff on what to do and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Basically we're gonna touch on what you need,
Mhm.
some tactics, a bartering system, how to deal with people, fortifications, and rebuilding society. Um, First thing is what you need to survive.
Mhm.
Is your basic survival skills and a survival kit and of course food, water, shelter,
Yeah.
um, stuff like that. Of course, you'd also need a companion too, so that
Mhm.
way you're not doing everything by yourself and possibly build up a group even.
Yeah.
Um, Up next would be tactics.
Yeah.
If you want to grab that one, you can.
Tactics. Tactics. Like, what kind of tactics you're gonna use really when you're out there in the wasteland? Like, are you gonna be sneaky and sneak around stuff, or are you just gonna be big old loud person and just like get up in everyone's faces?
Basically, if you're gonna be kind of laid back or just um, make sure nobody knows you're around or
Yeah.
pretty much stand your ground and be firm and chase everybody away
Mhm.
or make sure people can be trusted if they show up.
Yeah, and that goes into dealing with people. But you
Yeah,
gotta go through a barter system
yeah,
first, because it's how you end up meeting most people,
yeah,
or if they want you to join their group.
yeah. In some instances, you don't want to gain their trust and vice versa. You want to have them gain your trust and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Make sure you're getting a good deal out of whatever,
Hmm.
and making sure you're getting what you need and they're getting what they need or want.
But like, even like if you want to use a kind of money system,
Yeah, like come up with some sort of I forget what you call it.
money system pretty much,
Yeah,
or like uh, barter system.
yeah. You want something with monetary value.
Yeah.
Like say you got silver or gold or
Hmm.
something like that, or if you want to trade like a fur for meat or whatever, or
Yeah.
even something to grow a garden with, even
Or
you
even
can.
like different types of ammunition for your weapons, or even different weapons itself.
Yeah. Um, Up next is how you would deal with people. Like we were saying earlier, it all depends on if you want to keep them distant or um, pretty much be low lying and not let them know you're around, or
Hmm.
be firm with them at first to make sure they're trustworthy and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Um,
and how, or if you're gonna be more like, in general, just kind to people and trusting, or if you're just gonna be completely violent and kill everybody.
yeah, it all depends on if you're a people person or not
Yeah.
really. Um, Up
Fortifications.
next is the fortifications. One of the biggest things is like how well your the place you're living in can stand up against assault,
Hmm.
like mostly physically. Like say somebody's shooting at you or you got people coming in,
Yeah.
how easy it is for them to actually get in or break in or tear something down or anything like that. Basically, you want to have somewhere it's hard to get into,
Hmm.
and yet unless you know which way to go and stuff like that, so it's easy for you, hard for them.
Yeah.
Unless you actually absolutely trust the person,
Hmm.
then you could actually let them know how to get in and stuff like that. Um, Basically, one of the biggest things would be having like an underground bunker,
Yeah.
so that way you don't have to worry about anything coming down and destroying it from above ground. That way you have a good cushion on what's going on, and you'll have a little more ground clearance for gardens or anything like that.
Yeah, like the fortifications are like your building and like what supplies you have as well, like how well stocked you are. So you could have like the best shelter there is, but you could have like terrible supplies, like low water and low food and not very good weaponry to support yourself. Or you could have the worst, shelter, but have a bunch of good supplies. And, all the different types and mixes in there.
Yeah. So yeah, as far as that goes, you want to be well stocked on food, water, if you protection, anything to make it hard, especially for animals. If you go out hunting or anything like that.
Yeah, and you also want like some leisurely items like books or games, board games or card games.
Yeah.
Because you don't always want to be focused on surviving 100% of the time. You want to have your brain working about 80% of the time on surviving, and then the other 20% should be
relaxing, eating, sleeping, unwinding, or anything like that to make sure you're not always so uptight and going nuts half the time.
Yeah.
And the last thing would be rebuilding society.
Not the last thing.
Well,
last thing.
Yeah. Another thing I should say is rebuilding society. Yeah. That's where companionship actually comes in. You could have like you and one other person, or a group of people, so that way you have actually some selection on like who you would like or whatever to help build society back up to and whatnot. I mean but it's also up to you.
That depends on if you want to or you don't want to build society, rebuild it, and how you would do that. Like if you just want to control a small group of people, that's fine. But if you feel like you want to control more people and rebuild like an actual town or something, that's really up to you.
Yeah.
I think personally, like the best thing to do would just be a small group in your fortification.
Yeah.
That way you're not too, like I said, you're not too worried about surviving 100% of the time, and you can take some time to relax and make sure you don't get stressed out and everything.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things on rebuilding society is not so much control over, but control with. And one of the biggest things would actually be being able to teach everybody else the basics on how to survive and stuff like that. Basically on like how to hunt, what to teach them, stuff like that, so that way you can actually move forward and have a higher intelligence level too. Especially with if you're going to be building up a society, so that way basically have schools, teach them how to hunt, fish, read, mathematics, a whole bunch of different things. But that's it for the rebuilding society for the main part.
Did you mention having like some set rules?
Yeah. Another thing would be like a set of rules.
Yeah.
That could turn into laws, so that way you make sure you have some sort of system built up, so that way you don't have stealing or anything getting out of hand, really.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think that's besides leadership and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Another thing.
Then like the last thing would be our how we would have our shelter and whatnot.
Yeah. Um, Me honestly, for me, I would actually have a house all along with solar panels and anything to be energy efficient. I would have a lot of hand tools and stuff like that, just so that way I don't have to worry about using too much energy or having to go out and get gas or anything like that. Um, I'd also have um, underground catacombs or tunnels or something like that with rooms built off of them. So that way I can have a little library and stuff to actually help keep me busy. And that way, if anything happens to the house, all I'd have to do is just go underground and excuse me, live there for a while and wait till everything settles down and have an exit plan, an escape route. So that way I know I can actually get out and do what I have to do. Um, what
Is
do
that
I?
it for you?
Yeah, that's about it for me.
Alright. Well, for me, for my fortifications, I'd rather have like a wall or a gate type system with watchtowers at the corners for watching out beyond the wall and keeping like a house with like a basement or some underground stuff there in case something happens to the house. So that way there's the wall protecting everything inside, like protecting the garden and the house and everything. And then there's the basement and everything underground just in case something happens to the house. So that's like 3 levels of protection right there. First being the wall, second being the house, then the third is the underground stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'll probably have a small group, obviously, so people can take turns watching the wall, and some people can be tending to the garden and whatnot. And I'd have a barter system like in the Fallout games using bottle caps for money because a lot of people know that system, so it's like universally known, so it'd be easy for everyone to pick up and figure out like one bottle cap is say $1. So that'd be an easy way to trade things off because bottle caps are lightweight, easy to carry.
Yeah, bottle caps or even can tabs even.
Maybe, yeah. I'm checking the list there.
Actually, yeah, that kind of gave me an idea too for the walls and garden and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
and then personally, I'd make sure I have like a library or something like that. And I'm not too worried about having like solar power or any kind of power really, because I mean it's gonna be the apocalypse. It's not the first thing you're worried about.
True.
Like, I might have some solar panels or like wind turbines or something for like well or some water for purification system or whatnot. Maybe even have like a water tower
Yeah, there you
or
go.
something, But that's about it. Without like a diagram that I don't have.
I would do some farming too.
Yeah.
So that way you got meat and
Hmm.
your
That's with the
garden.
gardens and
Yeah.
stuff. But I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's about it for that.
Yeah.
Well, hope you guys stay tuned, and hopefully the apocalypse don't happen anytime soon.
Yep.